Today, there is some unexpected news because Microsoft has announced they are closing 4 studios and laying off more people. Let's talk about who right now. Yep, Microsoft has announced even more layoffs. These include Arkane Studios, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog Games, and Roundhouse Games. And to say this was a surprise would be putting it mildly. This completely caught me off guard. I did not expect to see more layoffs from Microsoft this morning, and I especially did not expect to see 4 studio closures. Roundhouse Studios will be absorbed by the Elder Scrolls Online developer ZeniMax Online Studios. That is via IGN. But there is also an email going around from Matt Booty that went out to staff. Here's what he said. Today, I'm sharing changes we are making to our Bethesda and ZeniMax teams. These changes are grounded in prioritizing high-impact titles and further investing in Bethesda's portfolio of blockbuster games and beloved worlds, which you have nurtured over many decades. To double down on these franchises and invest to build new ones requires us to look across the business to identify the opportunities that are best positioned for success. The reprioritization of titles and resources means a few teams will be realigned to others, and that some of our colleagues will be leaving us. Now, I'm going to have a reaction to this after I give you all the context, so let's go through Matt Booty's email, and then we'll get to that. Here are the changes going into effect. Arkane Austin, the studio will close with some members of the team joining other studios to work on projects across Bethesda. Arkane Austin has a history of making impactful and innovative games, and it is a pedigree that everyone should be proud of. Redfall's previous update will be its last as we end all developments on the game. The game and its servers will remain online for players to enjoy, and we will provide make good offers to players who purchase the Hero DLC. I feel like this was completely avoidable. Redfall didn't seem to get the oversight that it needed from Microsoft after they purchased Bethesda. They put it out, and the game just wasn't in a state that was acceptable for launch. And now, instead of changing things, they've just decided to close the studio and absorb that talent into the rest of the team. And we have Ding Bakaba, who has actually reacted to this terrible, surprising news. Continuing on, Alpha Dog Studios. This studio will also close. We appreciate the team's creativity in bringing Doom to new players. Mighty Doom will be sunset. Why are they saying sunset? On August 7th, and we will be turning off the ability for players to make any purchases in the game. Tango Gameworks will also close. We are thankful to their contributions to Bethesda and players around the world. Hi-Fi Rush will continue to be available to players on the platforms it is today. That one really stings. The studio that brought us Ghostwire Tokyo, the studio that brought us Hi-Fi Rush, games that were reviewed quite well and acclaimed, and also Microsoft's olive branch into the Japanese market is now gone. It's absolutely astounding. And a lot of people are calling Phil Spencer out because previous statements were made along the lines of this. Phil Spencer says Tango Gameworks acquisition is a great step for Xbox's future in Japan. Well, what does that future look like now? The studio head is gone, and you've decided to close the studio. Roundhouse Games is the last one. The team at Roundhouse Games will be joining ZeniMax Online Studios. Roundhouse has played a key role in many of our recent game launches and bringing them into ZeniMax Online Studios to work on the Elder Scrolls Online will mean we can do more to grow the world that millions of players call home. So the studio's closing. They're just folding that one together. So hopefully that means fewer job losses. With this consolidation of our Bethesda Studios team so that we can invest more deeply in our portfolio of games and new IP, a small number of roles across select Bethesda publishing and corporate teams will also be eliminated. You have to remember that when Redfall happened, Phil Spencer was on the Kind of Funny show, and he talked about how it's a failure on his part. Well, now the studio's gone, and people's jobs are going to be impacted. So gamers are very upset about this news. And it has me wondering, with what happened with Tango Gameworks, is Hellblade 2 studio next? Ninja Theory co-founder has left the Hellblade 2 studio. Xbox confirms that the co-founder of Hellblade developer Ninja Theory has officially departed the acclaimed studio. That's Tamim Antonidis. Sorry if I got his name wrong, but the point being, there is concern that, hey, maybe the Hellblade 2 studio, Ninja Theory, is next, because as we saw with Tango Gameworks, the studio head leaves, then they shut it down. I'm concerned about Ninja Theory now. Those whose roles will be impacted will be notified today, Matt Booty continues, and we ask that you please treat your departing colleagues with respect and compassion. We will provide our full support to those who are impacted in today's notifications and through their transitions, including severance benefits informed by local laws. These changes are not a reflection of the creativity and skill of the talented individuals at these teams or the risks they took to try new things. No, it's absolutely not a reflection on them whatsoever. It's a reflection on leadership. And everybody is rightly calling out leadership for what is happening today. It is, no one blames the employees. Nobody would think to blame the employees. I'm glad you clarified that. It is leadership that has failed here. We will provide our full support to those who are impacted in today's notifications and through their transitions, including severance benefits informed by local laws. These changes are not a reflection of the creativity, as I read before. I acknowledge that these changes are also disruptive to the various support teams across ZeniMax and Bethesda that bring our games to market. We are making these tough decisions to create capacity to increase investment in other parts of our portfolio and focus on our priority games. I have seen overwhelmingly negative sentiment online about these decisions, rightfully so, to the point that I'm seeing people cancel their Game Pass subscriptions, and overall sentiment is overwhelmingly negative. People are just like, yeah, I'm done. It feels like every time Xbox has positive momentum, like they just did with the Fallout TV show, like they were having with their successes as of late, a resurgence of interest in the Fallout franchise. Something like this comes along every single time. And this was it. People were just like, we're done. I'm done. That's how people are reacting to it. And it's understandable. Let me see if I have another one here. Bethesda remains one of the key pillars of Xbox with a strong portfolio of amazing games and thriving communities. As we look to the future, there is an impressive lineup of games on the horizon. In 2024 alone, we have Starfield Shattered Space, Fallout 76 Skyline Valley, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and the Elder Scrolls Online's Golden Road. As we align our plans to and resources to best set ourselves up for success in this complex and changing industry, our teams across Arkane Lyon, Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, Machine Games, ZeniMax Online Studios, and the Bethesda Publishing and corporate teams will be well positioned to build new IP, explore new game concepts, and expand on our existing franchises. I don't know how anybody with this news gets excited about Xbox things moving forward. You laid off 1,900 people, and then you waited a few months. And once positivity started rolling in, you announced the closure of 4 studios and more terminations at the company. Layoffs, not terminations, to be very specific. There's a difference in that terminology. It's very upsetting. Here are the posts from Arkane Studios. Today, it was announced that Arkane Austin will close and development will not continue on Redfall. To everyone that has supported the work from our Austin studio over the years, thank you. Thank you for spending time in our worlds and making them your own. Arkane Lyon will continue their focus on immersive experiences where they are hard at work on their upcoming project. Redfall players who purchased the Hero Pass as part of the Premium Bite Back Edition or the Premium Bite Back upgrade will be eligible to receive the value of the upgrade. While there will be no further updates, Redfall servers will remain online for players to enjoy. Just the studio is gone. The big hit in the gut and the big surprise for everybody has obviously been Tango Gameworks. This one makes no sense. Phil Spencer literally said he was looking forward to seeing how this helps them expand their reach in Japan. Here's what they said. Today it was announced that Tango Gameworks will close. Thank you to everyone that explored the worlds we created. Hi-Fi Rush, along with Tango's previous titles, will remain available and playable everywhere they are today. Short, to the point. Seems like they weren't very interested in it. Here's what Alpha Dogs Games said. Today it was announced that Alpha Dogs Games will close and that development on Mighty Doom has come to an end, as our servers will be shutting down on August 7th. We have stopped players' ability to purchase any digital in-game currency. Thank you to everyone that spent time in Mighty Doom. This comes after the Activision purchase, by the way, when they said, okay, we're going to cancel this game. We're going to reduce how many resources the Overwatch team has. We're going to have layoffs across Activision. We're going to cancel BlizzCon. And a lot of it seemed to make sense in terms of canceling BlizzCon, at least for this year. But now none of it makes sense. And there's just not a lot to be excited about for Xbox right now, especially today. Granted, this is very fresh, but it's just incredibly disheartening. What was supposed to happen, and the reason that I was excited about the acquisition, was about Microsoft and Xbox creating a better work environment for these people and better working conditions. And what has transpired has not been that. It has been overwhelmingly negative and continues to be negative. I don't know how Xbox bounces back from this. Ding Macabre says, this is absolutely terrible. Permission to be human. To any executive reading this, friendly reminder that video games are an entertainment/cultural industry, and your business as a corporation is to take care of your artists and entertainers and help them create value for you. How do you work at Microsoft right now with any level of confidence? Like, look, Sony had their layoffs. They did their thing, and hopefully they can recover from that. Nintendo has been better about it. They had some impact, but it hasn't been like this. It wasn't 1,900 people and then 4 studio closures. This is brutal. It was bad at PlayStation also, and they have to regain that trust with their internal team members. I don't know how Microsoft comes back from this, because community sentiment was mostly in the toilet already, thinking that they're going third party. This just seems to confirm it for anybody that was on the fence. This is going to be disastrous, I think, for Microsoft and Xbox. Especially the timing, it just doesn't make any sense. Don't throw us into the gold fever gambits. Don't use us as straw men for miscalculations/blind spots. Don't make our work environments Darwinist jungles. You say we make you proud when we make a good game. Make us proud when times are tough. We know you can. We've seen it before. They're a $3 trillion company. For now, great teams are sunsetting before our eyes again, and it's a effing gut stab. Leon is safe, but please be tactful and discerning about all of this and respect affected folks' voice and leave it room to be heard. It's their story to tell, their feelings to express. Inside baseball, but if I read immersive sim curse from the community, especially from a fellow dev, I swear to God, please, let's talk about the real challenges instead of rehashing irrational anxieties of the past. Even more inside baseball, but with a very, very wide range. As a wise and sorely missed man said, please stop. I don't really know how to process this. The whole story is executive leadership failure, period. The 1,900 layoffs are that. This is that. The restructuring of Activision Blizzard and what's happening over there. There's no more excuses. Enough.